Alright, let's go. Let's start this video about the king, queen, magician, lover theory. This is personality theory, and we're going to look at the result of the research I've been doing so far. So the first theory we're going to look at is the king magician. So alright, let's put the king on the top left, magician top right. King, magician, warrior, and lover theory. So this is a two factor model. You see, we've got like two arrows, and in fact, I'm going to add the third dimension, which is the extraversion. So in fact, out of the four archetypes of the king, queen. And how can you see? King, queen, magician, warrior, lover theory. The king and the lover are the kind of passive, like introverted, more passive in fact, geared towards the inside world. For example, the king likes to stay at home. It's going to be a home person. The king is a home person. The lover is not materialistic, so it's easy to imagine the lover in the forest. And of course, the king is in his castle. He's the king of the castle, and we're seeing here, in fact, the a visualization of one person's personality. So we're made of these four archetypes. But more or less each of them. I mean, all of us want to have a nice house, and most of us enjoy inviting friends. So basically, the king, your personality of king, if ever you invite friends for dinner, this is when the king archetype is active. So what happens is that the king invites everyone. Typically, the warrior, magician, and lover friends are going to come to the king's house. So we're all driven toward this kind of security. The king is driven toward security and protection. And that's the archetype that invites friends over. So if you rarely invite friends over to your house or take care of your house, or if you're often outside, then your king archetype is not very strong. So the warrior is driven towards achievement, and in fact, I have identified some similarities between the king, warrior, magician, lover theory and the Enneagram. The Enneagram theory it's an old theory that was invented by the ancient Greeks, which has 9 personalities. So, and we could actually match them here. So for example, the achiever is a warrior. The loyalist is another personality from the Enneagram, is also a warrior. The warrior is driven towards the king. Like king and warrior, you see, are on the left side. So basically, they are the left brainers. That's your left brain. And on the right side is, of course, your right brain. So the right brain is is less realistic. It's more imaginative, like more creative. So the magician is creative. Magician is the party. So the party people, this is party people. So the magician is going to be very excited to be invited by the king for his party. And the magician is going to be at the center of attention. Well, however, the king's best friend might be the lover. So in the Enneagram theory, there are 2 types of lover. The romantic, so that's easy to, it's easy to make the link, you see. And the other one is the investigative. So the lover archetype Could be also assimilated to the idealist of the of Kierkegaard's four temperaments theory. So idealist. So this is your idealist, and the investigative personality type of the Enneagram would also be a lover, because this part, this quarter here is the quarter of knowledge. Like, you know, love is knowledge, knowledge is love. This is your knowledge and love archetype. And of course, the warrior is the action-oriented archetype. Right, so we've got these four archetypes here, and in the KWML theory, you've got 9 shadows that you could compare to the shadows invented by Carl Jung. So the warrior has 2 shadows, the sadist and the masochist. So if you're too much of a warrior, then you might be a sadistic kind of person. This is so of course the theory is a self-improvement theory. Yeah? So if ever you realize you've been not nice to someone or something like that, or not nice to yourself, like if you're masochist, that's also it means it's a lack of your warrior archetype, masochist, hurting yourself. But hurting others might be the result of too much of this warrior archetype. So of course the goal is to be like right in the middle, to have the perfect balance between all of them. But so there are shadows for each of these 4 archetypes. Like for example, the king's shadows are the tyrant. So too much of a king is a tyrant, and not enough of a king is the weakling king. It could be the weakling prince, because in this king theory, the shadows are the immature self, and the goal is to become more mature. So to go towards that archetype, going towards the right balance of this archetype. Like if you're too much of a king, you're a tyrant. Not enough, you're weak. And this there are 2 shadows for each of these 4 archetypes. So for the magician, if you're too much of a magician, you might become manipulative. If you're not enough of a magician, you might be naive. And the lover, if you're too much of a lover, you might become addicted. And if you're not enough of a lover, you might be an impotent lover, someone who cannot love. So the goal is to be right in the middle. And let's say the result is that it tells you you're not enough of a magician, well, it means go out, go to parties. If you're not enough of a king, it would be like organize a party at your house. If you're not enough of a warrior, it means you probably need to take action on things, doing something. And if you're not enough of a lover, that means you might want to be the investigative. You might want to copy the investigative personality type that comes from the Enneagram. And this is actually quite interesting, because the investigative is also the advice given to a weakling king. Like if you're too weak, you might want to investigate and learn the things that you need to know to become a right king.